and piss off everybody in the world.
I was thinking the same thing, if you should go farming oriented. But I don't think that's the way you farm with Jugger this patch. I think you go Mask of Madness, and then maybe you go into a Maelstrom. Like if you play very farm heavy, and then later on you can
or
play that Mask of Madness.
TNC. They're going to try and contest that top bounty room, pick him up, throw him away with a telekinesis. But then the focus target, it is going to be down towards the Rubik. 1437's on the run. Is there enough pressure from Sam H and Tims? There isn't in time to kill off Crit, but the sticky napalm is there, making it difficult for Crit to escape. One more punch from Tims will do the work. But Sam H is taking significant amount of damage. First blood goes the way of EG. And as far as the bounty rune goes, TNC did at least claim 3, so it's a small reward for the first blood that they lost.
That first blood gold went to Crit, and then he died immediately after. So he actually didn't gain that much because he lost some of it. Yeah, that's a pretty even trade overall. Very curious to see how this mid lane plays out. I think this, Sumail is already starting to very good control. Help from Tims will be coming in. Sumail has successfully already created a double wave. This is a concept that we're going to be seeing a lot of this tournament. Since the mid lane was changed, so there's an extra creep, you can just dominate your opponent by pushing really hard and then having so many creeps under the tower that you can freely go and hit the opposing hero and limit his ability to get CS. Sumail right here with this double wave. You see they have to yield immediately. There's just way too many creeps coming in, and realistically Cuckoo is going to lose a lot of creeps here. Sumail plays it right. He did not on that one, or that one. But that one.
Underneath the tower does make it hard. Made it a little bit harder for Cuckoo as well when he's fighting inside the trees, but Tims, this is the reason why he's here. This is the reason why Night Stalker is a fantastic pickup. And a blink forward! Sumail may be in trouble. Cuckoo's going deep, but a little bit too deep. Underneath the tower, he'll burn the salve, but so does Sumail.
Yeah, that's a good howl by Atisi as well as an insurance policy there, but nice aggression coming out from Cuckoo there, seeing an opportunity to pounce on it. I think this is how you want to try to play against Sumail. If you get the chance in mid, you want to try to pressure him, because else it goes the other way. Sumail is not that kind of passive mid player that'll just sit by and trade farm unless he has to with his hero matchup. So if this amount of pressure they're putting on the puck is very good for TNC here in the mids. Sumail has to play a bit passive now. He will get a second salve coming in, but they're successfully giving Cuckoo a good lane now this rotation. The question is what it costs, because obviously that means the Night Stalker can't help top or bottom. Well, Universe is having a really good time against this Juggernaut.
Yeah, he's able to find a lot of levels. They were trying to do something about it, like the telekinesis grabbed into spin. That was after he time walks. The Universe did take considerable amounts of damage from that.
Mid lane.
Yeah, Cuckoo, X marks, Torrented, support's coming in. Tims is on his way. So is the Courier, and they turn around, just punch into Zai. Cuckoo has to retreat back out again. He'll burn yet a second salve now for that mid.
This will be... I think this is a good opening game to just see how the mid lane is going to be played this tournament. This lane is the biggest lane of Dota simply because of the extra creep now. There's going to be a lot of emphasis on...
Oh, Crit. Get out of here, Crit. Top lane, he's being fireflied up. Sticky napalm to 4 stacks. All that firefly needs to do is get on top of him.
Oh, the
more,
Centaur!
But the Centaur Storm, it keeps Arteezy and Zai controlled. Crit will die, and Sam H will get a solo kill trying to contest the dire pull on top lane.
Man, if he would have killed another hero in that Firefly burn, Zai dropped pretty low as well.
Sumail is on the wrong side of the tracks. One range creep able to find him. Tims will be there. Quick blink forward. Cuckoo's going to find the kill. Sumail finding himself stranded behind the tier 1 tower and getting punished on his way out.
This early game is looking very good for TNC far, not just because of the kills, but also the amount of farm that the Juggernaut is getting is very nice. They've managed to create a pretty 50-50-ish situation in that mid lane. Very important, as we... The only hero who's suffering a bit as far as CS goes is Sam H, but he just found that kill, so he's also looking okay. And I think TNC's game plan now has been executed well enough that the first night time, now the Night Stalker's level 3, is going to be really dangerous. EG needs to be careful not to hemorrhage too many kills right now, as...
So you've got at least that nice burst damage in the cripple, but what you don't have is the control. So Universe can time walk out. Puck will be able to illusionary or back out. And you've got different methods of escape available for Evil Genius's cause on the lanes. And then, of course, it's a Lycan.
Yeah.
You're not going to gank the Lycan.
The silence point for Tims is going to be very valuable. It looks like he's actually prioritizing that as well. He's like sticking around in the bottom area, getting levels together with the Rubik. We don't that often see supports just playing together. Okay, now he's going to leave. He's waiting for a ward. This level 4 for NS would be very nice for Tim to get. He knows where Universe is now. Dirk is going to try to mess with him a bit. Yep, okay.
So he can ward, he can leech. But there's no gank, and EG, you asked them not to hemorrhage at this point. They're hiding on the map from TNC. There are no options on the field for a gank to come in from Tims. Instead, Samael's trying to get aggressive in mid. The torrent! He'll be able to connect. He's got Blink, but doesn't have the time. The stun from Zai followed up perfectly. Now Samael in trouble. Rotations from Tims as well as 1437. The telekinesis grind will hold him in position. So 1437 will find the kill. And while Queen of Pain is dead, the supports get the revenge.
That was a really nice setup there from EG though. Like kind of baited the Queen to not. You don't really want to blink there against the puck, and then Zai with the nice torrent. But TNC just as quick on the counterplay as well, coming in with those two supports. And at the end of the day, it's a fairly even trade. TP's being used obviously does matter, but for a hero like I actually don't think Nightstalker even TP'd. I think he just ran over there and read that that was the play that was coming in. 1437 assisted. Easily worth it for them. Are spawning. Top rune will to, I guess, Samael. No, actually, Zai is just going to take that one. Go. Good torrent in mid. Will set up his X. Good harass coming out of Kubu here.
Meanwhile, on bottom lane, they're trying to actually go onto the Faceless Void. I say trying, succeeding. Faceless Void will die underneath the tier 1 tower. So 1437's rotations on point. We're expecting that to come from him, but it's the fact that Tims is always there with him. The support combination of TNC rotation, you know, it actually feels very reminiscent of LGD International when 1437 used to play for them. Like that quick movement, the two of them just move together, and you just find the kills. Yeah, Zai's trapped between the tower. 1437's come in, and the Observer Ward sees all. The Torrent will be able to connect on 3, but Zai can't get out of here. Cuckoo, Sonic Wave commits. Samael jumps over the top. They'll have to trigger off the Shrine. Samael cannot battle against that level of regeneration. He does get the silence off, but Void is still there. Samael will get punished, trying to find the kill on the Queen of Pain. Even Raven TP'd in to help out in that one. And TNC now 7-2 on the board, 7 minutes in.
Very minor gold lead though. This isn't that bad for EG's lineup. As we talked about earlier, Universe is dead as well. I mean, it's starting to hurt a bit.
Yeah.
But I think it's expectable that EG's lineup will fall a little bit behind on kills early on. It's about, do the right heroes get the gold? Are they getting their key items? I think the most worrying thing for EG is that Samael's game is going the way it is. He has 3 deaths, barely out-farming the Queen of Pain here in terms of CS. Okay, actually like 10 ahead now. On net worth, they're fairly even when Puck definitely wants to be ahead.
They're on the hunt. Oh. They're coming in for Cuckoo. With the smoke gank maneuver, Zai can't get in range. They just came off the back of killing the Bat Rider on the top lane, so at least they're slowing down his initiation. That Blink Dagger that SamH is desperately trying to reach.
Find crit now. Who finds who, though? I think SamH is in a lot of trouble. He's going to die here, more than likely.
Yeah, you've already got that little hit coming in from the Fortune Zen. Torrent to follow up. Can't TP out this one anymore. And even with the Firefly, he's burning Zai down a fair chunk, but it doesn't matter when Arteezy can move over and Zai does find the kill on that Bat Rider once more.
This is very interesting. We've not really been looking too much at Lycan so far, but Arteezy is going for Necronomicon, and this build on Lycan has completely fallen out of favor as of late. We've mainly seen Lycans go for more of a combat-heavy build with just damage rather than this split-pushing approach or the mana burn, obviously, that Necronomicon gives. Most Lycans would be going for a build along the lines of Mask of Madness and Armlet, and then into a BKB. But wonder what makes him favor the Necro book here, if it's if there's a specific reason he wants that mana burn, or that it is just the game plan. All right, guys, we're going to try to split a bit more here. This is not what I was expecting.
If they feel like
in this game.
If they feel like they need to have more power in the team fights, Necro will provide that. You get a little bit more push out of your lineup, and I suppose you get 2 more minions to give you your vision.
Mid lane, Samael.
Yeah, real issues. Cuckoo going down underneath the tier 1 tower. 1437 and SamH are nearby, and Samael now, he's got an orb available, Metallic to pick up. They're trying to stack him up as high as possible before they battle this, but Samael trying to go against everybody. Starts his TP, SamH was moving away. Samael will survive! Understanding no more stuns, no more control, and no more ways to kill him in time.
You really need to be on your A game when you're playing against Lycan when it comes to these moments. It's very deceptive sometimes what you think you can get away with and what you actually can. And I would say in general, the team that has the Lycan will have that little bit of extra advantage. Even if both teams are thinking about it, they obviously choose when to use that Howl. And it definitely gave Sumail a little bit of an edge in that fight. Nobody died after the Queen, but you could tell TNC were like hesitating, can we kill him, can we not? And then the Howl comes in, and then you get to play it safe after got out.
And Cuckoo's just wishing he could pop Sumail at the moment. The fact that he was able to just get the Shadow Strike off, the Scream as well. Sumail doesn't have his Shrine of Verbal for another 190 seconds. An eternity for Rapak, who has to now burn all of his bottle charges. Meanwhile, everyone else gets to go back to their farm.
This is going to be an attempt mid, I think. He's going to pop Darkness into silence.
Perfect Scream, Sonic Wave, and Sumail gets obliterated. Zai tried to help out. His Torrent was in a good position. He just wasn't ready for an Invis Tims.
I think they might have not got the Howl off in time either. He died really fast. Tims didn't even cast the Darkness before silencing. He just put the silence and the nuke on him instantly, and then they blew him up with the Sonic. So, nice kill. TNC.
And TNC instantly turned this into something favorable. In fact, it may be even more favorable. Conker, the Firefly up. There's your lasso. They're thinking about clipping him, but they'll put him on the ground so Juggernaut can find out the Chronosphere from Universe. It'll catch his teammate, but he's trying to buy time. Omnislash Cheval from Juggernaut starts his spin and instantly goes into the TP. They want to bail out this one. Tims fly up. He doesn't actually have ability to TP out this one, and you'll have to jump up to battle him. It's Universe versus Tims. Who is king at the hill? Right now, Universe, he skipped more time logs, or else he won't get it. Tims is the king of the hill, surviving. EG, they wanted something in return, but they'll lose their offlaner as well. All they wanted to do was stop the tier 1 tower from dying.
Well, they did that.
Alright, suppose Sumail can now kill him. There's consolation prize. Sumail's able to get enough money to have his veil.
Damn, that is such a high value. 600 gold. 11 minutes in for Sumail. Very good for him, but of course, yes, EG defended the tower, but they're going to lose a full tier 1 top because Arteezy rotated down and can't protect the lane. And this bottom tower is not long for life anyway, I think, for TNC. Their natural nighttime is kicking in 3 seconds. They know there's no Chronosphere for a full minute, and I think they're going to keep on the aggression. The question is if they're going to go bottom or focus more on the top area and try to get the tier 2. So far, so good. Taken 2 tier 1 towers, the mid tower especially at this point. Quite surprising. Sumail doesn't generally lose his tower this fast. Has been put on a lot of pressure.
This is TNC's fast gameplay you're talking about. Raven, TP out the bottom lane, getting attacked. I instantly want to push in the top tower. Every tier 1 tower has taken damage, and EG playing reactionary, defensive chronos. Like, we can get Sumail a kill, but only after they've lost 2 heroes and Night Stalker clipped himself. Like, it seems like very, very hard work for EG, even though they do have the 2nd and 3rd highest net worth heroes on the map. The Juggernaut is still getting further and further ahead of this Lycan, and we're not feeling the influence yet of Arteezy, but also isn't that something we're expecting? Like, when you go for a Necro build, you're not going to say, hey, I'm going to really get in the mix of the fight straight away. They're going to find an opening. It's Universe, actually going to be false promised, and Sam H having to run away. Time delays making it difficult, so is the Torrent and the Orb and the Rift, everything they've got, ship included. Throwing down towards the Batrider, and Arteezy gets himself involved. Necropooks, as well as Wolves, diving into the tower, looking for 1437, moving back to his tier 2 tower. The Dream Call catching out Tims. Night Stalker once more can die. Not worth as much money this time for the Sumail double kill. But while this is going on, Raven is taking the tier 2 tower up on top lane. EG are forced to fortify. And TNC are not going to lose anything apart from their Batrider and their Night Stalker here. For a full 5-man rotation from Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, this play from EG is worth it if they also get the tower, but they simply don't have the resources anymore. And like you said, they lose the tower. So in my book, this is still good for TNC, what just happened. Overall, losing a couple of heroes is obviously not ideal, but when you're trading 2 heroes to defend and get a tower at the same time, I like that trade. Good for them. You're right about the Lycan. Like, it's hard for him to get very involved with this Necronomicon build, and at the same time, he doesn't farm as fast as if he had another build. I was wondering if we were going to see him max the Wolves early just because of this vision, but he actually doesn't have them maxed until now. He went for a 2-2-4 build and just now took the 2. And I think EG are identifying that the problem is they don't have as much information as they would like. And they picked Lycan in part for that information, but now it's finally going to start flowing in.
Here comes TNC once more. The Dire will scan up, and, well, at least one does ping as the Juggernaut going into the Dire scan.
Very good read.
Those TNCs a little bit further to the north who scanned up right on top of the farming position, but they were 5 seconds too late. But now you can see the pressure applying from TNC. They've taken all the towers on the top lane outside of the base of EG. They turn their attention to the bot lane. Observer ward is down. The vision game is just perfect for TNC. You're flagging it during the drafting phase that EG were going to have troubles with this.
Yep. Looks like this tower will fall and be denied at least this time by EG. So still a very close game right now. No major advantage apart from towers. If you look at the gold advantage that TNC have, if they lose the amount of towers that they've claimed, they're actually behind on gold. So there's like unclaimed gold on the map for EG back, but they need to set up that team fight that allows them to get this bottom tower, and it seems pretty difficult for them right now. Always scary to go into this kind of Night Stalker lineup at this time.
Especially now the Batrider has a blink dagger.
Yep.
With his blink up,
now.
I don't think they actually know about it. I'm not certain if he came in range of either of the Dire Observer wards. But you can see them trying to prepare. In fact, yep, there you go. The smoke out of range of both of the Dire Obs, and they're coming for a gank. But what do they see? Right now, Crit's on a warding mission.
See some mail.
Yeah, they saw some mail in mid. They may even get lucky and get the right timing to pick off the courier. Here comes Sam H. Orb already used by Samael, trying to use it to push the lane out. But now he doesn't have it. Silenced up, controlled up. The spin damage combining with the silence, puck will pop. And that is a nice free to end. Raven gets more money. And Samael having more issues with item progression.
Cost them their tower though. If you make the smoke movement and you target the puck in mid, EG know that, okay, in order to kill this puck, you're going to need to bring 2 or 3 heroes. And they instantly turn it into an advantageous play for them getting the tower bottom. So I think TNC originally with that smoke weren't intending on going for puck, but maybe trying to wrap around the bottom push that they felt like EG were going to apply. And then they got tempted to go for puck kill, I want to say. Grab that core. And maybe it was still for the better. Maybe this bottom fight wouldn't have that well.
Yeah, and they got space for farm time too. Cuckoo has now finished up his Veil of Discord. He was farming up the top lane that entire time. Raven was having the time of his life as well. So yeah, you lose the tier 1 tower, but I'm still wondering, like, this is a lot more efficient timing. You're talking like unclaimed gold on the map. Right now when EG, every time they 5-man it up, all that unclaimed gold, the distance won't be as much once EG do claim it in net worth.
So what big items do we have coming in? The Juggernaut finished his Manta style. Very good timing here from Raven. Queen of Pain Veil, as you mentioned.
Level 3 book is up.
It's getting a Void Stone, so I'm guessing we'll see a... Might be just a Yules next against the Puck Silence. Also nice against X-Mark, correctly. And on the EG side, Necro 3 is done, Puck with Blink Veil. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So no really big new items, I would say, apart from that Manta style for Jugger, which makes a huge difference in this game because you can get out of Puck Silence now and guarantee a spin, more or less. Right,
so they want to go.
Let's go Roche.
There is no Observer Ward around here. Apart from the Dire side, they have one sitting in front of the pit. But TNC actually have no vision around Roshan. They moved most of their wards. In fact, they've just got that one defensive ward inside their own jungle. But their aggressive vision has actually disappeared. They lost their Observe ward on bottom lane. It timed out. So right now, TNC, for all the vision game we were praising them for, there's a small hole. They've only just put the obs down, but it's too late. EG is already in the pit, taking Roshan, and unless Tim takes to the skies at the moment, they won't realize it in time. In fact, it's already too late. EG, they have Roshan.
This is a very good play call from them. All right, the moment it turns to day, we're just going to go in and use our Necro book and use our Lycan to take this Roche. TNC would have contested that if they knew. I'm pretty sure they would have tried to mess with them with the Batrider and the Jugger and the Queen, even if Night Stalker is weak.
They checked too late. Like, the Manta Illusions were going up from the Juggernaut as well. But yeah, just 5-10 seconds behind EG.
Yep. This gives EG a nice little power play here with the Lycan Aegis. Not the best Aegis carrier as such, but...
Oh, they just smoked on the Dire Obs.
Still an advantage.
4-man smoke on Dire Obs. Does EG do anything about this apart from evade?
To take the fight. If they have the Aegis to play with, so they could bait in the Arteezy Lycan and try to get a team fight around. That looks like exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, and there's the Observer Ward. So 1437 will see him. They do, however, see the rest of the heroes behind with the Dream Call, catching 1437. Raven, he's out. They're going to sacrifice the Rubik here. They do not want this fight. But they did get some aggressive wards down. Raven, trouble. There's a wolf on his tail at the moment. Trying to body block up, and Arteezy, he does it perfectly. Blocked up one avenue. Raven doesn't even think he can get through the second, and he will be brought down. A huge kill on the Juggernaut. And Evil Geniuses lose absolutely nothing. And they may even get a little bit more. I say that they just lost a courier. Small value lost.
That's the Aegis right there. You could see the mental game that happened when that smoke broke. TNC move up, they see the Lycan with the ward they drop down, and they're like, we can't go on this guy. And then they just want to disengage, but the mobility of EG's heroes able to net them 2 nice kills there, especially the one on Juggernaut. Very important kill. Slow him down as he was having a great game so far. Steph. And EG can maybe turn some pushing. They're looking to group up here in mid. Wolves are ready in 3 seconds to be resummoned. The Necrobook's still a bit away, but I don't think TNC want to fight this.
There's no Sonic Wave. Like, she used it to kill off the courier.
So it's nighttime with Howl. They're not going to kill this Lycan twice.
Yeah, all 1437 can do is try and push him back. I suppose 1437 got Howl. It's not a bad buff up.
It's actually a very good steal when you have Night Stalker in your team. It's one of the best spells that Rubik can have this game.
And right now, EG, they don't seem to be too dissuaded by the fact he's got it. They take the tier 1 tower in mid. They're rotating as a full group to bottom. And once again, TNC is doing this split kind of pressure. Back up towards top lane. Sandmate is up here, trying to find that farm to get him towards his BKB. Rena Payne still working on the Yule Scepter, 120 gold, 110 gold away now. And Raven will have to take up the mid, still trying to work on his Maelstrom. But this is a lot of heroes to commit for a long time from EG. Is this bottom tier 2 tower really worth it? You send Sumail now up to the top lane to defend. Are they still okay with this trade-off when you've got the Aegis Immortal? Is it more of that, we want to fight, so we're going to force them into it?
I think it's more of a feeling of necessity that if they start splitting up, they're playing into TNC's lineup with this Bat Rider, Queen of Pain, Night Stalker that are innately a lot better at skirmishing than team fighting. So EG are just willing to sacrifice a little bit of farming efficiency to not give away kills. And at the end of the day, should be probably getting this bottom tier 2 tower, or maybe not.
Nah, they're pressuring Arteezy. Yeah. They're only pressuring him though. There's no real attack because they know that's pointless, right? You go onto Arteezy, he's either got Aegis or he's going to get false promised.
Yeah, he's not going to die.
Yeah. So all you can do is just dissuade them, slow down the lane, continue to add pressure up on top lane, which is what Raven is doing. He's back in to pressuring that top lane to make EG wonder, like, what happens if we keep this going? A tier 2 for tier 3 tower damage? Is that worth it for them? Cuckoo amplifies up Arteezy once more, blinks away. Starts to scream as Howl on Howl. There goes your Sonic Wave committal as well from Cuckoo. With the scream, you might be able to pick up at least the Necro books. So they've lost their push, and it's Sumail on top lane, chasing after Raven, who's already starting his spin TP out. So they hold their tier 2 tower on bottom lane TNC, and do some chip damage to the tier 3 tower on top.
I really like that Sonic Wave cast. I think most players wouldn't have gone for that, but he identified that if he casts all his spells in succession there, he kills off the Wolves and the Necrobook, and that's probably going to stop EG's... And it did, because they're pressuring top at the same time. That Sonic Wave might have looked like a waste, but it defended a tower and it forced TPs to pop, so... Play from Coop. Read on the situation. Pipe finish now on Night Stalker, very nice item. This is a build you're going to be seeing more in this tournament. Night Stalkers used to go for Aghanim Scepter almost exclusively, but teams have identified now that it might be a bit of overkill on vision. Of course it's nice to have the vision, but you already have vision advantage just by it being nighttime, and then instead you can have a better team fighting impact. The problem with Axe is that you give vision and that's it. Now he's giving them team fight presence by being able to pipe up the team, having magic resistant aura, and just contributing that way. You're generally going to see this build or Solar Press.
And he's doing both.
Item, and sometimes even both, yeah. And very standard. Could have maybe considered a Halberd this game. There's 2 good targets, both the Lycan and the Void. Void right now doesn't matter too much. Yeah, I like this choice of items a lot. I think the Pipe Burst is the best choice.
Judging by the speed of this game, TNC, the more towns they take, the more these fights continue, the more money they're going to get. They're looking for Raven. Universe going to Chronosphere him up. Sam H nearby. Blink Lasso just controlling on Samael. Torrent still doing his work. Raven into the Omni Slash. The creep wave soaks up a fair amount of the jumps, however, and Samael keeping hot on his tail. So is Arteezy. You'll separating him up, and when Raven hits the ground, torrented up, he will fall. Sam H also in a world of hurt, getting time locked over in the tree lines, trying to juke it out. He's lost his Firefly. He needs to blink away, but the urn, he jukes it! He went down into the small little corner on the left, moves down, can blink away. Actually, not even blinking, just goes for the raw TP out to safety. They will still lose the Juggernaut, but TNC, it could have been a lot worse for them.
That was really nice damage to get out. The question is if this push was like this movement from TNC was likely to succeed. I think at this point they need to realize that these fights are not gonna go their way if they set them up like this. They need to get the jump. If the first engagement fight was this, where they get the jump on the Juggernaut with a Chrono, it's really difficult for TNC to come back in the fight. They did a lot of good countermeasures. Sam H jumped in on the puck and locked him down. They even stole Howler and used it with Rubik, I believe. But still, it wasn't enough.
Universe, hard to chase him when you've actually got that sticky napalm on him too.
Tims needs to be careful with this gem. It's getting max rooted here. They're gonna chase him down. If Samael finds him here, this is really big.
He can't get close enough. Sam H is also playing guard duty.
Yeah, Tims has to be good.
And both these teams are desperately trying to scramble for wards. That one dire obs. Can't believe there's actually gone full duration with the Gamma True Sight on the Night Stalker, but sitting in mid lane.
It's not a place that Night Stalker crosses too often. Generally going to be playing around the two sides of the map and inside the jungle to, you know, control bounty runes, try to find the aggressive wards on the hills and whatnot. So sometimes these quote-unquote obvious mid wards can actually work very well against a hero who is looking for the more, you know, intricate spots. And as you said, EG do get full duration on it. Now it's expiring though, so they're actually completely blind on the map, except for the creep. They kept pushing it. And that becomes increasingly important right now. This is danger time.
That's when we actually look to see where Crypt puts down the Obvious Ward. Where does EG feel they need to see more than anywhere else? They've only got the one available at the moment.
I think the Roshan should be the priority right now.
Well, he is back up and running. With the Assault Cuirass freshly onto Arteezy. They have a lot of armor, a lot of tank, a lot of team fight, which they want to push with.
Yeah.
But having the insurance of the Aegis lets you push harder.
This is a very nice luxury to have by playing together with Oracle. I think if Arteezy was not with Oracle, he might have considered a BKB as his secondary item, but he feels like he has enough protection from his lineup that he can go straight in for a very aggressive damage item. And of course the defensive, it's not strictly aggressive. He didn't go Deso, but it's a nice hybrid item, let's call it that here, that gives him really powerful stats in the fight.
A tier 3 tower's taking damage again for Evil Geniuses, now down to 50% of his HP. This is that pressure from TNC. So I'm wondering, like, just how hard does EG and how fast does EG have to push in order to stop this continuously happening from TNC?
They need to get an Aegis. With the next Aegis, they can go high ground, and EG push fast. Their lineup is faster than AC and Echo though. If they successfully find a key pick here into Roche, we're looking at maybe next daytime that they will try to claim Elena Barracks.
Well, they're looking for the pick. Smoked up, moving through mid. Best target right now is Cuckoo grabbing that 28-minute rune. He's just farming up. They need the control, and there's your blink into a Chronosphere. It's perfectly done from Universe. Support on the way. Tim's going to be nearby, but they've already lost the Queen of Pain. Tim's will start his TP out, and they're going for Roshan. They burnt Necro Books as well as Wolves, so they really want to make the most out of this. They're going in for Roshan. Look at that haste rune from Samael.
TNC just going to give this away.
Samael's coming up for 1437.
Yep.
1437 is trying to add pressure towards the tower. Okay, now Samael's actually keeping back. Sam H, flying over, blinks in. Lasso going to grab Universe. Remember, they've got no Chronosphere to work with. Underneath Roshan, who's already down to 1/5 of his HP. Support will arrive. Raven blinks in. He was almost looking to steal off Roshan. They had to trigger off the pipe. What'd you end up getting stolen? Okay, it's just going to be ripped at the moment, but 1437 hit by the Torrent with the X to start it off. That'll do the work. They're looking for more Tims. Dream called up. Omni Slash nicely hitting on almost all the heroes from EG, but the damage being distributed perfectly, meaning the Crick finds himself a double kill. And so far, TNC haven't found anything yet. Crit actually gets himself a triple kill, throwing out the nukes to try and lock down Cuckoo. He got X'd. He'll quickly Yule Scepter up, however. Dispelling it off means he doesn't get hit by the torrent combination. Roshan is still alive, but EG, they will shrine up and go in once more.
That's a very big win for them. Very, very big win. They got the Queen buyback. They lost no heroes, right? They didn't have a single casualty.
Yep.
Buyback from Night Stalker. Did they steal his gem too?
They have the Gem of True Sight over on Crit now.
Yeah, so they stole the gem as well. This is like the more or less the biggest win you could imagine. I thought TNC were going to get a good fight out of this when they bought back the Queen so late because the Necro book was expiring. EG had been using a couple of cooldowns, but they still held together very nicely there. And the problem that TNC are facing right now is that they just don't have enough damage. They're not killing the heroes. They're playing into Howl, Mech, and False Promise. And you see this Omnislash jumping, and he's getting some nice split damage out here, but immediately has to play defensively. Goes into the spin, scared of the Ghost Ship, and this fight is already over at this point. No one from EG is even faced. They also have the Ghost Ship. There's just so much sustain that TNC have to get this jump where Batrider lassos and Juggernaut comes in at the same time. And what started it all off was in that Roche pit. They blink lasso the Void, and the immediate X counterplay from Zai just makes that fight a walk in the park.
So there's the question. Maybe the answer to why EG are always grouped up the way they are. They understand that how TNC do the fights is perfectly kind of when they are there as 4 as 5.
Yep.
TNC want these individual pickoffs. And the only person who seems to be a little bit further out of position is Sumail. But he's a puck with a Yule Scepter. He's got a lot of get out of jail free cards as this puck.
He's going to be almost impossible for them to get the link in. Batrider didn't go Force Staff. He feels like he has to go link into straight BKB. So Sumail with this Lincoln's in about 1,000 gold will
Zai
very difficult to deal with.
looking for a kill right now. They're going to put down the Sentry Ward 1437. He actually did a defensive torrent, but he'll end up losing his life. So there's the pickoff EG was looking for. They've got Aegis Immortal. They want to push in. And the line has been done. Arteezy will go through the bottom lane and attack the tier 3 tower while the rest of EG are assaulting the tier 2. And this time around, TNC's push on the top lane is not adding enough pressure. Raven is on his way up. They can soak up the wave pretty quickly here if they want to. And maybe they can actually force EG into a bad trade-off position. But you've still got Necrobox. Okay, everyone's coming back. And they may look for bottom. The lasso, Sam H, he caught out Arteezy. They've got the Yules up now on Puck, breaking him free of any kind of extra control. Tim's still in the neighborhood. Arteezy gonna try and fight this one. Crit is nearby. The Dream Coil, it catches 3 at the moment. BKB already expended from the Batrider. Welcome to your 10-second effectiveness of the BKB. It ends up with your Night Stalker dying and you not killing the Lycan. In fact, Sumail going back in once more. Not being controlled. But EG bailing out of a lot of those TPs that stop TNC from pressuring further.
EG are building a really big advantage at this point. This attempted split push from TNC top, they actually had a very good read on it. They were starting to hit the tower, and they got out of there just in time before Universe blinked in for the Chronosphere. If that Chrono connects, this could have been a complete disaster. Instead, it's like a minor inconvenience. Hitting their Night Stalker, they obviously lost nothing on their bottom tower at the very least, but still the map just feels less and less available to TNC. Now 8,000 behind on the gold. The key items coming out now. Finally, there's a Shiva's Guard here in the Queen of Pain, but the problem is you just got this feeling that she's still going to be very hesitant to go in. There's just so much damage and control and sustainability in EG's lineup.
She's trying to go on to Zai. X marks the spot. You still got the screen, the Sonic Wave available. Zai gonna let the ship fly, but you also have to protect the Queen of Pain, but cannot protect her from the Chronosphere. All damage. You got the Rift to follow up as well. Silence cannot blink away, and that is 86 seconds now without the Queen of Pain. And EG still itching for a push. They got the Aegis Immortal available for another minute and probably 20 seconds. So decent amount of time for EG to get the job done.
This is a lane of barracks if TNC can't get anyone to TP home fast enough. Raven's going to try through the mid lane, but he needs to chew through an entire tier 2. And so do EG top, but they're a little bit faster than this Juggernaut, let's put it that way. So they're already going to reach the base now. 1 full minute to play with.
They didn't even burn Necros,
and they know
Wolves,
no
or Howl. Like, all of these things are available right now for Evil Geniuses. Arteezy will burn all 3 of them in one big go, and that tier 3 tower, it doesn't stand a chance. Universe goes in deeper. Samage again has to defensively BKB the Chronosphere, does split up the fight a little bit more. The Dream Coil holding in TNC, so Arteezy just does a lap around the Chronosphere to come in for the extra kill. There's a hit onto the Batrider, and TNC, they've lost control of this game now. Evil Geniuses taking the top racks, but what do they get in return here, TNC? You bought back on the Batrider, you're looking for a kill. At least Tim doesn't get hit by the boat, but they jump in once more. Blink the time dilation. You're gonna get hit once more by the Torrent. And TNC, they've lost too many heroes. That one pickup on the Queen of Pain has now just avalanched into this EG advantage.
Yeah, they can probably claim Megas here. They didn't lose their Aegis or their Cheese, I believe, in that exchange. No, they still have both.
Yep.
Just gonna head straight down to bottom. And the key piece of information for EG here is that they know Queen. Oh, wait a second, they're gonna go in.
Oh, this is really problematic. Maybe with the Omni Slash, Universe can time walk off so much of the damage. Zai will go down. But the Batrider, he caused a lot of confusion. The issue is Raven. Manta, break free of the silence. They still need to kill off Arteezy. He's in dog form. You'll set him up. Cuckoo wants more control. They got the screen. 1437. He's got nothing to really give. The blink forward. You can time walk into the Fade Bolt, reduce that damage, but Universe, now the cheese gets triggered, Sumail's back into the fight. The Dream Coil will control him. TNC will push in the envelope, but right now, EG are delivering the death letter to their families. TNC, they've lost 2 lanes of rags, and the 3rd will be pending in a couple of minutes when EG's ready to push once more.
That's how fast the game can almost end when you get the right kill at the right time. EG with that kill on Queen was so big because it's not just that they're killing a key core, but it's that they know for sure that she doesn't have buyback based on when she bought back for the Roshan fight. They still have the Aegis. If Queen buys back in that Rosh fight right before they claim the Aegis, you know for sure that I still have Aegis, so there's no way she has buyback. Unless you've timed it perfectly, then you obviously know exactly
Oh,
what's going on.
Chrono! Universe, he got him! The Torrent from Zai, they knew exactly where Raven was. Just trying to relieve a little bit of the pressure by pushing out mid, and then the spin TP. Normally, you're pretty good as a Juggernaut to get out of that one, but TNC, they realize it's over. GG, they've lost their Juggernaut. They still have no Queen of Pain. And Evil Geniuses, thank you, Sumail, for deleting all of your items and probably destroying everyone's fantasy points.
Does that matter? I don't think it matters.
I actually don't know. Either way, Evil Geniuses, a solid victory, even though TNC definitely showed their early game prowess. Words, pro and west.
Yeah, it just got to this point where it got too difficult. TNC played their strength early on, as you mentioned, but the coordination and team fight of EG's lineup just became too difficult to fight into. And when they found those couple of key moments that gave them the Roshans and just a couple of good team fights, I feel like TNC's lineup just ends up being too weak, and they played against the clock and they lost.
Well, we'll have ourselves a quick break. We're coming back. There's so much more Dota still going on. So game 2 of this 2-game series, TNC versus Evil Geniuses, our first series of the TI group stage here on Stream 1. We'll be back after the break.